Now administration, and we will start talking about users. We'll see how we can create a user, how we can assign roles and much more. Okay, so here the first thing you need to know here is this. Here we have the name of the user. Here we have the rules. We have the groups here. The host access means the host that user has access to, and we have here authentication type, and we have here actions. All right, so you see this icon here. If you hover your mouse here, you will see here global user. This user can be created from the ghost system, the Greenbone operating system only. You cannot create a user from here, from Greenbone Security Assistant. Okay, you cannot do that. That's why this user was created during the configuration, during the setup of OPENVAS. You cannot create this user from here. You can create admin user, but you cannot create one with all of this permission that this user has. All right, but you can clone this user. For example, you can come here and clone this user. But even if you clone, you see this status of global user, these new cloned users has no this state. All right, we can name it. Let's call it admin2, and if you want you can create password or can use exiting password. Okay, because we clone it, the same password can be used to log in. Okay, but we can create another password. It inherited all rules and permission, but okay, let's click save. As you can see, we just created our user. If you want to create another one, this was cloned, but we want to create another user. How we can do that? We can come here and click new user. But before that, let me click here, help. I want to explain you something. Let's go now, new user. And here, let's give a name, John. Here, you can type the password. And here, we have authentication tab. You have here LDAP authentication only, radius authentication only. We won't cover these two authentication type because you cannot set up it in this community version. Okay, because you won't be able to generate the certificate. So because of that, automatically you won't be able to log in using LDAP authentication, even radius authentication. All right, so we will select this one, and here in rules we need to select which rule we want to give to this user. We have here these rules: admin, guest, info, monitor, observer, and user. To understand each rule of each user, we can come here. You saw when I clicked there in help. Let's scroll down, and here you have the rules. This admin by default has full permission, can create, manage user, rules, group, and much more. And here we have this user. This user has all permission by default except for user, role, and group management. This rule is not allowed to synchronize and manage the feed of this user. We have here the info. This user only has read access permission to the NVTs and SCP information and nothing more, but can modify personal settings, change the password. And we have here guest. This rule corresponds with the rule info, but is not allowed to change the user settings. Okay, the info can change his password, but this one cannot change anything. And here we have a monitor. This rule has access to the system reports of, and here we have the observer. This rule has read access to the system, but is not allowed to start or create new scans. All right, this is just observer. And we have here the super admin. This is user. As you can see here, this rule has access to all objects of all users. It has no relation to the super user sudo root in the ghost administration menu. All right, this is user from ghost system. We will see later on about this user. Okay, so now we can move forward and create our user with the rule we want. Now that we know the rule of each user, okay, let's go and select this one. Let's click here, guest. This will be guest, and we have no groups yet, so that's why I will ignore this part, but we will see how to create groups. And we have here host access. Here in host access we have two options. This means that the host that this user will have access to. So here we have, if we select this one, here we need to provide the IP or the host name of the host that this user will not have access to. All right, for example, you provide here, but we have this option, this one only. Okay, this is the difference, but we can select allow all blank. And we have here interface access. This is regarding the interface. It's the same philosophy of here, but regarding to the interface. Okay, let's go and click save to create this user. As you can see, we have guest here, and I will create just one more. I will call it Rick, and password, I will click provide the password, and the rule I want this to be info. Okay, no groups yet, and go. and click save, and so on. Okay, this is how you create users here in the Greenbond Security Assistant. Okay, see you in next lesson.